Okay, what's up guys? So we're back for another episode. This is episode 7. The bike's starting to come along. We're trekking along here. In this episode I got some brand new CoreMoto brake lines. I love these brake lines. I put them on everything and I'm tossing them on. Clutch line as well. I got the throttle cable to go on. Some brand new grips. And then the big hassle that I kind of been dreading is the wiring harness, putting that back in. And then airbox, gas tank, yeah. So let's get to it. Alright, the throttle bodies are on. The only thing that holds them on is a clamp underneath around those rubber boots. It's real hard to get on. Those rubber boots are hard. I just sprayed it up with some WD-40 and used my body weight and the rubber mallet and it finally went. Alright, so before I do the harness, I'm going to toss on these brand new throttle cables. They just come into this throttle tube here and then connect to the butterfly valves here. So on the diagram it's showing the one with this adjustment is the one on this side, so put that in first, I guess. I'm gonna take this off. Alright, so I got this fully threaded in. Cables I can just push from the other side. I believe this is how it sits, so just gonna try and put these in the throttle tube. Alright, so I just realized the correct routing for these throttle cables is under the steering stabilizer bracket. So I'm going to have to remove the steering stabilizer that I put on. Nice. Alright, I got some brand new Domino Grips here. I have never tried these before, but I've been seeing all the superbike teams use them. You know, watching WSBK or whatever, I see them on their bikes. I ordered these right from Superbikes Unlimited. They are one of the premier high-end superbike racing parts places in North America. They're like 50 bucks, a little bit higher end. And then I have this grip spray I got with a pair of grips I bought a while ago, and it goes on wet, stays wet for a bit, and then you come back the next day and it's rock solid. But I'm also going to wire tie these as well at the end and at each end. I just like to do that on all my bikes so it doesn't slip. Yeah, let's get to that. Bigger diameter, so that's for the over the throttle tube. I'm going to use some air. A little harder than it usually is. These grips have like a really thick inner layer, and the actual grip itself is super thick, so it like barely wants to flex. So I think you need to use air to get these on 100%. I do have it bottomed out here. That gray right there is the grip, internal grip. And then it leaves a nice gap in there. It doesn't drag. You get the wording facing up. All right, let's see the other side. So this is that grip spray that I sprayed on there. Okay, grips are on. I was just measuring the gap here, matching it to the other side. Obviously these clip-ons are a lot longer than the factory ones, and you don't have a bar end. So it's a nice thick grip, I like that. Controls are pretty much wrapped up. I just have to put the clutch line on and the brake line. I think I'll do that next. All right, before I do anything else, I want to put this lock wire on. Just kind of where the texture starts. Put some stainless steel lock wire. Grab the lock wire pliers. Alright. So let's dig it into the rubber a bit. So you just trim off a tiny bit. And you just tuck this pointy part into the grip. Just let it dig into the rubber. That's it there. So on this grip, I'm only going to do there. On the other side, I'm going to do both sides. I got some CoreMoto brake lines and clutch line. Pretty sick color. I got the carbon fiber with red lettering and gold ends. Alright, so what do we got here? Rear caliper. Let's toss this one on first. Even though I don't have a rear caliper, I'm just gonna let it sit there. I'm just gonna leave that loose for now. I'm not quite sure how it goes. Alright, so for the front calipers, they get rid of the T at the bottom, and they give you this long banjo bolt here. So this puts two of these together. And that is going to thread into the master cylinder on the bars. comes across the top airbox, and then this is the injectors. So obviously this is number 1, working left to right. And then for this one's labeled number 3. This one's got to be number 2, right? Just go across the top of that. So 2. 3, and the longer one is 4. So these white ones are Spark. This one's labeled 2. Alright, so I just took the front steering stem stand off and put on the front lower stanchion stand, just so I can gain access to this area. I want to put the horn on. There's a little piece that goes there. You know, maybe I'll mount the headlight. She's coming along, slowly plugging things in. In here you can see this one black plastic piece, part of the harness. It clips into a tab coming off the starter and then pushes into a push pin in the frame. And that comes back. I put on the starter nut wire. I got these ready to go. So these plug into the ECMs on top of the airbox. These are for the upper injectors. These are all ready to go. This is the crankshaft position sensor. This is for the rear brake switch. I'm not going to be running a rear brake switch. I'm hoping the guy doing a safety is very lenient. These rear sets do accommodate them, but I just didn't want like a wire running from there to there. It just wasn't going to look right. And to be honest, I've never used my rear brake on a sport bike. I'm always front brake, even on the road. So, yeah, I got my Woodcraft ignition key switch bypass in just for now, just so I can start it up. I am going to be running a probably like keyless ignition key fob. You walk up to the bike, it's going to be ready to go. I'll have that part on order. So these wires all kind of sit right here. I did realize I was missing the harness for the headlight and the cluster, so I just ordered that. The regulator's plugged into the harness. You got the AC voltage coming out of your stator up to the regulator. Out of the regulator is the 12 to 13, 14 volts DC. I just ran the side stand switch up the back here, and it's plugged in right here into the harness. So I think I pretty much got everything tied in. I did plug in the camshaft position sensor, and then over here I was able to plug in the radiator fan, which I think I'm going to replace. I'm going to put a new one in on order. This one's bent. It's pretty wiggly. And yeah, alright, let's get cracking on some more stuff. So I did remove the factory servo. So I do have a servo buddy here from Woodcraft. And that just plugs into the rear harness where the servo usually goes by the signals. That's it. That's what deletes your servo and the valve and the exhaust, everything like that. Just plug that in and you can take everything off and no engine light, nothing. Alright, next up is the airbox. This bike has a weird airbox. It takes a filter like this and not a normal filter you're used to seeing, I guess. And like when it comes to installing these parts like in order, what has to go first for clearance issues, I totally forgot that this bike has this weird ram air system. So this sits like above the rad and it's a ram air where the baffle things usually are, the pair valves. And then this is inside the bike where the filters bolt to inside this box. So I totally forgot that, and I was just shitting bricks like, oh my god, do I have to remove the forks to get it in? But luckily I was able to just remove the radiator a little bit, like just undo this one hose and 2 bolts and lower the radiator, and that air ram duct fits up inside here. So thankfully that is the case, and I didn't have to remove the forks or anything. So if you have one of these bikes, remember to install that first before you put the radiator on. Alright, so I got the ram air system installed. I thought for a second I'd have to remove the throttle cables. It's probably best you put the throttle cables in after you install this. Yeah. So I gutted the front flapper thing, so it's just straight through air now. It should be pretty good. Alright, let's put the rest of the airbox on. Some brand new OEM Honda air filters. I guess they just sit there like that.
What we do here is go back.
one's labeled number 3, so this one's number 2. And I got these ones down here. This one's got to be number 1. I labeled this one number 2, 3, and 4. I originally had these plugged in down there, and obviously I thought this one up here, they're all the same color, but once you get it all together, you realize where shit goes, pretty much. Okay, the air box is officially on and tight. I just routed this hose over to the other side. I didn't want to put the crankcase vent into the air box and get blow by into the air box. Everything is tight and right. I'm still waiting on the cluster and headlight harness. I ordered that. So in the meantime, I just have this harness here hanging where it plugs into, and then I could tuck it up underneath. Yeah, brand new air filter. Everything's coming together. Everything's plugged in. I have one cable here, one plug here for the fuel pump and the fuel line for the tank, and then I have the rear harness here. So just waiting on the one piece that goes right here, they call the heat shield, and then I put the under tray on and the exhaust. I can't wait for that. I have a battery on the way, getting a lithium ion battery. So doing instead of getting OEM stuff, you know, OEM battery, I don't have a battery at all, so I might as well upgrade to the lithium ion, make it a little lighter. And then also I have a pretty trick seat to go on this. I didn't have the seat, so I ordered an aftermarket seat, something a little cushier for the longer rides. All right, I guess I'm going to try and tackle the tank. I don't have the key for the fuel lid, so I'm going to try and drill it out, pry it out, whatever I can do. Flush the tank out, might take the pump out and change the fuel sock or clean the fuel sock. Yeah, all right, let's try that. Okay, so that worked. I've never done that before, drilling that out. Pretty much there's this tab here that hooks underneath, so I knew I had to try and drill it out and turn it to get it off, and I just kept going and it came off. Used kind of a bigger drill bit. There is a decent sized dent right here. It looks worse on camera than it is actually, but I'm going to take out the pump out of the back of the tank, and maybe I can push a drift up here and bang it out. This tank you don't see. That's the cool thing about Honda is I can leave, oh, there's another dent right there. I can leave these dents and no one's going to see it. I don't really care really. The tank works. It's rust free on the inside, so yeah, I could leave these dents and the tank cover goes over top of this. Alright, let's try and remove that pump now. Okay. So this thing looks super clean. It doesn't really have a fuel sock, it just has that mesh down there. I'm probably gonna leave it. It's just nice to take the bottom off and look inside and get every little ounce and drop of fuel out of there. If you just leave the top on, it's hard to shake out all the fuel, so now I can empty out all of it and then try and bang out those dents. But if we look inside, it is super clean in there, super clean. Let's see if you guys can see that. Okay guys, I think that wraps up this video. I just threw the tank on just for shits and giggles. I'm gonna have to remove it anyways when I get the undertail piece in and the battery. Yeah, I really need to finish this tail section, and that one part I'm waiting on is screwing it up for me. So right now I can't really go any much further. I don't have any more parts to put on. Well, I do, but you know, I could start working on the fairings, but I think I might just put it on the back burner for a little bit and wait for these parts to get in. I have a lot of time still to work on these fairings, so I don't want to get too far ahead, but it would be nice to be done early. The wheels should be here in the new year. My custom set of wheels I'm getting machined. Yeah, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button. This bike's gonna be pretty sick in the finished product. Yeah, thanks guys.